All right, so we're rolling. Yeah, could you just say your name and then spell it? So if we want to put your title in the bottom corner.
Ray Gonzalez, Raygonzales.
Okay. And you're familiar with this area then?
Yes, grew up here all my life.
So yeah, just got a couple questions. Why do you like living in the north side of Denver? What about this area makes it a good place to be?
One, all my parents and all my family lived in the north side. And two, I don't know how to say it, but this is where all my kind of people are. Hispanic, whatever you call them. And
Okay.
I feel comfortable here. And I just like being part of that. I don't know, you know.
Yeah, I've been. Actually, we did an interview with an Italian guy about a week ago, and
I was here with Italians too.
Mhm. Do
You
you want
know.
to talk about that at all? Or?
Well, that was too long ago. I remember I used to shine shoes down here, and I remember like Carboni's, all the Italian restaurants, and that was cool. That's before I even knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
I'd see all the Italian places, and I come swimming here. Then as I got older, like 16, 15 or 16, it just changed for me. But it didn't become that. That was like society pushed that on us, like all my friends and everybody. That's how that happened. And now I just come back. I like it the way it is now. Everybody's different, you know. Probably grown out of that racist era. And that's why I like.
I hope so. I hope so. Like,
Yeah. Oh,
that.
for me, I mean, I know a lot of people that it is, but for a lot of people, they'll never be over it. But I'm 60 years old, so I'm good. I feel good about myself.
Okay. Yeah. What's special about this area to you? You mentioned some places to shine shoes at. Either talk about spots that you maybe frequent now, or somewhere in the past that you were at a lot.
Everything starts here. This is my home. This is where I come. I come down here every day. I catch a bus, and from here, everything is where it's at now. I go eat at Chubby's, Lechuga's. It's Carboni's, but that's up on Tejon. You know, I go to them, but this is it right here. From here to 38, 7-Eleven. I grew up about 8 blocks that way, and I don't really go over there that much no more. But it's just right here. I got all kinds of friends in this area. And
So there's like a sense of community here. Do you feel
Yeah.
like that you're part of like the community? You know a lot of people then.
yeah, I know a lot of people. That did stories at the art museum for like when they had riots back in the day. I had this friend Ernesto had his pictures up there, and that's what I was part of. It was a movement, I guess, because I believed in it. And now I believe in I don't know what you call it, everybody mixed together. What is that? Unity? No, like everybody mixed together.
Unity. I'm not sure. Just cohesion. You know.
Yeah, I like it like that.
Okay. What changes have you seen happening in North Denver in the recent years, for the better or the worse?
Other than the park, they took the pull out. Well, they took the pull out for one thing. That started it all after the riot. And house by house, little by little, I'm not saying it's bad, but I shouldn't be saying this, but that's what I feel about it. This used to be all predominantly Hispanic, and the white people came back and took this area house by house and raised the price on them. So we can't do nothing but afford to move out. And they took this area over back again like they had it back in the 60s.
Around what time period did you see that happen?
That he switched over?
Yeah.
About 15, 20 years ago. They started it one house at a time, and then with downtown growing, it's like, and they're doing it out on the east side too, by Coliseum. They took that whole land from downtown all the way going. That used to be the black side of town, east side.
Are you talking about kind of the art district, the Rhino Art District?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, Rhino. That's it. It's just they just, like that land was worthless to us. It was worthless to us, but now it's worth a lot to someone else. That when they decided they knew what was going to happen over there, so they bought it all up. Not even saying Hickenlooper knew too, because he owns a lot of buildings downtown. And before he left office, he had a lot of them downtown buildings taken over. You know, he sold them all, made all kinds of money. And now they're coming in here, giving you top dollar, $300,000, right? I bought my mom's house for $490,000, right? They bought it and put a price tag on it, almost $800,000, and it went. And that's how they do it. And then for you to think, oh, one of us can move back in, or you know, we couldn't get approved for no $800,000 a month loan, so it just doesn't happen no more. That's why I'm in Thornton. I feel good out there too.
Yeah, I live way down in Aurora myself, so.
I don't like Aurora.
Huh?
I don't like Aurora.
Yeah, it's you know, it's all right.
That's a no man's land for me.
Works for now. I'm only 25, so you know.
I like it down here, downtown area.
Do you have any family history here, or current family that still lives here?
I don't have no family left. All my people, all my family, I got an aunt who lives by Chaffee, but that's it. My mom, my dad, my sisters, they all passed away, and for about 10 years. But I got my oldest brother. He lives on 140th, and we're like day and night. I'm like, I stood as part of my people, like I was right here, and my brother went on to go to college, school, everything, and so he owned the building that I worked for him for 30 years. He owned a heating and air conditioning company, and he's a millionaire, right? I'm fighting to pay the rent each month, and we're like day and night. We don't hang out, but we know we're brothers, and it just makes me feel sad about the whole deal. I feel like my parents left me here. There ain't much for me here, but
Yeah, it's unfortunate that he's not maybe willing to help you out a little bit.
right. I asked him, and he's like, I don't have no money. I haven't got a check. Well, he sold his sheet metal shop for $1.5 million. And I'm just saying, man, could you help me out with the month's rent? I don't have no money to give. That hurts. That hurts me, you know. That hurts my feelings. I would never do that to my brother, but it's the way life is.
He worked for him for so long and stuff.
Yeah, I bust my ass for his company, man. 30 years I worked there, and I ain't got nothing to show for it but hard work. I guess that's all right. I'm happy now. I could have nothing now. I'm happy now. So I'm good.
Last question. You know, what's a spot in North Denver that's special to you? Maybe a restaurant that you frequently go to, a coffee shop, a park. You know, where I live out of the park right now. So.
Apart from the park, Chubby's. That's the most famous place around here. That's been around since I was little. My friend's grandma owned that. And it was a little shack, you know, a little building. And now they passed away and they left the grandson, Danny Chubby's, and he did it like it is now, built it. But it's always the same food, same relatives in there. That's how it works there, and so it tastes good. I grew up on it.
And Chubby's built the church that is over there on Cornish and Jewish.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where my parents were married, in that church that they built.
Oh, so that's the last question I have for him. Are you interested in jumping in and doing?
No, I just wanted to.
What did she say? What did you say?
That Chubby's, Esther built the church that's over there on.
Oh, I don't know that.
You know the history though. You sure you don't want to do it?
She knows different than me. I know.
I was here when they rioted to change it back to Barasa Park because they changed it to Columbus Park. And I was in the riot, and my cousin had to cover my face because they were throwing tear gas. And she drove her Volkswagen through the middle of the park to get me out of here.
Are you sure you don't want to talk about it?
I remember all that. I just didn't remember the church part.
Yeah, they built that church. My parents got married there. My kids were I was baptized there. My kids were baptized.
I got married at Guadalupe, but I know all the grandsons and,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Our Lady of Guadalupe church right
So everybody comes up and looks at the thing under there, and I got to give them the history on the park. That there used to be a pool here, and
There used to be a
Yeah, that's what I was hearing from the Italian guy that we interviewed.
it used to be packed here every night, man, with cars.
lowriders. There was a show here not too long ago.
Sunday,
This weekend.
Saturday,
Lowriders.
it was packed.
Yeah.
Oh, oops. Get it under your arm so we don't knock it around.
Okay, so to start off with, just so we can do a name card at the bottom with your name on it, could you just say your name and then spell it?
Yeah.
Letter for letter?
My name is Amber Patterson, AMBERPATERSON.
Okay. And yeah, just tell me about North Denver and tell me about how long you've lived here, how you ended up here.
That's my other one. So we live in Sunnyside, and it was our neighborhood of choice. We moved in 2 weeks before the pandemic shut down in February of 2020. So we just really like the feel of the neighborhood. It just has a really kind of organic feel. You know, it still has a lot of the culture remaining. Hasn't been completely wiped out by, you know, duplexes and stuff like that. So we really like the mix of cultures, and we hope that it stays that way. And love all the old houses and everything like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're kind of talking about the architecture, right? The feel of the neighborhood itself. Can you expand a little bit on that? Just what you noticed about
Don't put your feet on this.
the architecture of the neighborhood and what really drew you to it and caught your eye about it?
I mean,
Just give it 1 second.
Yeah.
It's
Probably gonna sit there for a while.
lawnmower engine and like an SUV.
Yeah.
Two of them.
And motorcycles now too.
All right, so
Everything loud is coming by. Get that hair.
the louder they are, the cooler you are, right?
Yeah, something like that.
But yeah,
Directly proportionate.
So I was kind of asking about the architecture and just why you guys really watch that.
I just like you can kind of feel the history to it. You know, it's a largely immigrant population. You know, and it has a long history of being an immigrant neighborhood. And you can see that. Well, I mean, the architecture is mostly older than the immigration, but like our house is 100 years old, and you know, just like
He said home.
you can just really I don't know. It just gives more character to the neighborhood. Not everything is newly built, and even the stuff that is newly built, some of it sticks out, but a lot of it is people are making an effort to kind of have it stay with the feeling of the neighborhood, which I appreciate. So, yeah.
How does your house feel, you know, when you're in it? Just how does it, what kind of atmosphere do you?
It's a great mix of, you know, as I said, it's a 100-some-odd-year-old house, but it has an addition on it that was put on behind it in 2012, and it's really I'd say it's a fair blend between modern and more classical. And I don't know, so it has a really comfortable feel on the inside. It doesn't feel before this we lived in a condo in Rhino, and we always said that it was too shiny for us. It was kind of
What do you mean too shiny?
it was shinier than we were. It just always felt fancy, you know, felt like, I don't know, it just never felt super comfortable. So this just feels a lot more comfortable. Yeah.
Why the fire?
Oh, looks like someone's grilling. They have grills over there, I
Making
think.
hot dogs.
Oh, nice. See if you can go get some.
No, it's not on a grill.
I think they have a grill over there. Or else they wouldn't be doing it, I hope.
It's built into the park, so anyone can use it.
Oh, did you know there was a grill over there? I think it's over by where those. I think it's over by where those chess tables are. Remember where the gentlemen were playing games last
I saw
time?
the chess table.
Yeah, I think there's a grill right there. We just didn't notice it.
I looked where the grill was.
Oh, we'll have to go look again.
What's special about this area to you? Is there like a certain spot you guys have gotten in the habit of going to?
We go to Cherry Bean Coffee House a lot. It's at 41st and Tejon. And we love it there. I think it's, I mean, I've been to a lot of the cafes in Denver. I think it's one of the best ones. Has like really solid food, really nice people. You can just feel that everyone's happy. So it's well run and has good food, good coffee, good drinks.
I'm actually gonna make a note of that. I do
Good smoothies.
Good smoothies, that's right. Bagel with cream cheese is actually from there right now.
Okay.
Yeah, give a little plug to our friend Simon.
What's it called?
Cherry Bean. The owner's name is Simon.
I'm a programmer is my main job aside from this stuff, and so I'm actually gonna go do some work somewhere after this. So
They actually closed early today.
Oh,
They're doing some work in there. Yeah,
okay.
they're open until 3, usually until 4 during the week, but they closed at 3 today.
What do you think of the changes happening in North Denver?
It's a mix. Kind of depends on where you're talking about. As I said, it's like some of the places have been. I feel like the history's been kind of completely wiped out of them by kind of too much newer development and just knocking down old places rather than kind of fixing them up and keeping with the feel of the neighborhood. And there's always the unfortunate, economic development aspect of it, right? Where people move in with more money, it's like you get priced out of somewhere else, and so you move over here, and then but at the same time, that the people who are here are going to get priced out of this place, and I just hope that it doesn't. I hope that it doesn't expand throughout all of North Denver. I hope it maintains its history. I hope it maintains its history. We have to keep free of that mic. Oh.
Do you have any family?
Just stuck my hand in your.
Do you have any family history here? In Denver at all?
No, we had actually. Sorry. That's gross. I don't know if I even have any.
Germ even, the front of your hands. So.
That's true. I was more thinking about the germs in her mouth. My family's all from back east, and my husband's from the Midwest and back east. We actually had never been to Colorado, really, either of us. He had been through briefly when we decided to move here, but we had lived in big cities our whole lives, and we were ready to kind of downsize to a mid-sized city, and we'd both heard great things about Colorado, and we wanted access to outdoors really easily. We'd lived in New York City before this, and it was like, you take like a 1.5, 2-hour train ride to somewhere where you could take some trail that went through people's backyards, and it was like, or you had to walk a couple miles to get to the trail from the train station. And so this is just a complete lifestyle change.
Okay. What's the spot? So you already mentioned the coffee shop. Is there any other spots in North Denver in this general area that you can think of?
Also in our neighborhood is Funky Flame. That's kind of a new place. They are an open air place, and it's a bakery. So they do, I think, like Friday, Saturday, they do pizzas and stuff like that at night. But then during the mornings, they have breakfast sandwiches and stuff like that. And then they always have like their baked goods for sale. And that's a super cool place. They used to be at a cafe bar called Radiator, but now they've kind of opened up their own spot. They're at Zuni and 41st. So that's super cool. I just like how it's kind of, I don't know, it's just kind of using the space that was already there instead of kind of building on top of it. They're just kind of using the space, and they're bringing other local vendors in too. So it's kind of a community thing. We're about to go to Tumble House, which is just down the road here, which is really cool. It's kind of a European style cafe where like half of it is a play area for kids and then the other half is a cafe for adults, which is, I don't know why that's not a thing in the United States because it's amazing. And they're doing a happy hour tonight, so we're going to go do that.
So it's more of like an evening thing to go to?
They're mostly daytime. I think it's like 9 to 2 or something like that typically, but then on 2 days a week they have a happy hour. You can go in and have adult beverages and your kids play which is really nice.
Can you re-describe that one time? That's an interesting spot.
Yeah, it's called Tumble House, Haus. You okay? And so half of it is like a tumble house, has like mats and stuff like that that the kids can tumble around on, and toys and that sort of thing. And then the other half is just a cafe. And then 2 nights a week they do a happy hour from like 4 to 6. So you can go and have adult time while your kids are having kid times, and it's kind of nice. You don't have to pay a babysitter to get some time to have a conversation. It's nice.
Yes, so just to close out, is there anything else you'd like to mention about North Denver, about this area? Anything that surprised you in a good or bad way? Just your venues?
I don't think anything surprised me. Like I knew the people in the neighborhood were really cool, and everyone I run into, like I've basically only lived in this neighborhood during the pandemic, and yet I still walk down the street and say hi to 5 people as I walk a few blocks. It's very friendly, which is why we moved to Colorado. Part of why we moved to Colorado. So that's not surprising, but yeah.
Cool. Well, I appreciate your time.
Okay, thank you.
What was your name again?
Amber.
Amber.
Nice to meet you.
Kyle.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Being on camera. Okay, Arlen, can you just start off by saying your first and last name and then spelling them out? That's just so if we put your name on the video, we have the spelling of it.
Yeah. Arlen Fatland, Arlin. Last name is Fatland, Fatland.
Okay. Yeah, so just because, we're in this business, tell me about this business and kind of what you guys do here,
Well, we opened in 1970, and we're in just motorcycle parts and accessories, basically for Harleys. And we've been in the same building here for 52 years.
Okay.
So
business has been, good enough to keep you open for a while then.
yeah, it's up and down with the economy and the rest of the things the government's doing.
So, as far as North Denver, is there sort of a Harley bike culture here?
Well, I guess off and on. I mean, it's not just necessarily, we draw people from all over town and surrounding communities and the mountains and whatever, because we've been here so long and we've got good inventory, good selection. We take care of our customers pretty good.
Do you guys kind of see yourselves as a staple in the North Denver area for Harley merchandise, parts, and that sort of thing?
Yeah, we are.
Okay. How is that important to you to just keep that going and kind of be that community staple?
Well, it's customers rely on us, so we take good care of them, and that's what they come here for is parts.
Do you think what kind of positive impact do you guys view your business as having on the community just around North Denver?
Well, I don't know so much about North Denver because it's so spread out, where people live.
I just started out with those. I have my other questions as well, though. Why do you like living in this area? What about this area just kind of makes you happy to get up and...
Well, I don't live in this area. I live up towards Broomfield.
Okay.
But, been here since 1970, so at the present time, there's nowhere to move.
Yeah.
No time for a change, yeah.
What's special about North Denver, just the area around here? Is there any specific restaurants you might go to for lunch a lot?
Well, a lot of restaurants have changed over the years. The old-time Italian restaurants are pretty much gone. So there's sandwich shops all over, coffee shops, etc.
Is there any that have stood the test of time and kind of been somewhere you've frequented over the years?
What do you mean?
Just any restaurants that have been here since 1980.
Well, we've been here. There's one down here called Highlands. We've been going there for quite a while. It's become our place used to be Cheers, where everybody knows everybody, and it's still changing too, but they're still there. So we go there for lunch.
Okay. What changes have you seen happening in this general area of North Denver?
Mainly the price of real estate and the price of housing gone up. A lot of changes.
Do you hear from residents around here that that change is kind of making it hard for them, or
No, not necessarily. No.
have you heard of anyone who's made a lot of money off of that change, just kind of like sold their house after the prices went up or anything like
Well, yeah, a lot of people have moved out because they made so much money on a house. You know, one little lot's bringing $350,000-$400,000 for just a small house.
that? I know that there used to be a pretty big Italian population around here. Are you Italian yourself?
No.
Okay. Did you see that though? I think it's.
Oh, back in the old days, yeah, it was pretty much 95% Italian. Yeah.
Tell me about La Raza Park, just kind of what you've seen over the years with La Raza Park.
Well, many years ago, they used to have a swimming pool over there, and all the kids would go over there. Some changes have gone on, but it's still a park. It used to be called Columbus Park, and then they changed the name.
Oh, really?
So,
So you're from Iowa. Yeah. So just kind of to end things off, what's another spot you like in North Denver other than your business? Obviously you guys are sort of a staple in the community. Is there any other business owners around here that've been here for a while?
yeah, there's one down on the corner called Tom's Press. He does print work and business cards, etc. He's been here quite a while.
Okay.
He's seen a lot of changes also.
Cool. All right. Well, I appreciate your time, sir.
Yeah.
Just kind of.
You know, I was doing that.
The nice way.
Yeah, man, if the bus comes, we can just cut it off right there.
Yeah.
To start off with, just tell me your first and last name and spell it for me.
My name is Gerardo Lozoya, G-E-R.
Oh, the mic's right here, brother.
Oh,
so you can just hold it. Like,
then why'd you give me that for?
okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
My name is Gerardo Lozoya, G-E-R-A-R-D-O, last name L-O-Z-O-Y-A. Grew up in Gloville, Denver, many years. Stapleton Projects.
So what part of the north side are you from?
I'm from Gloville area. I'm a 46 in Grant. And then I was living before 46, on 49th and Lincoln.
Okay.
And then 51st and Lincoln.
Can you tell me about growing up here?
Ooh, there's a lot of things going up. I mean, everything you see around now over there in Washington, North Denver, was never there. I mean, things changed so much.
How's it changed, since you were younger?
Oh, everything, people passed away and moved on, and now they build new apartments at the area where it's supposed to be contaminated, which it wasn't. Now they got apartments and duplexes, and everybody that was living there are gone.
When you were younger, is there any businesses that aren't around anymore that were?
Oh yeah, there's Cudahy, there's there's quite a few. Yellow Front was there. Dolly's, Barbaritos. Oh, there's quite a few, lots of them.
What's the spot that you really enjoy around here that you go back to a lot?
Gloville, I'm 46 in Grant, that whole area off of Stapleton. I even worked for Laird Hall for the mentally disabled many years.
Is there any restaurants you really enjoy around the area?
They're gone.
What's one in particular?
They're gone. It was gone. They're gone. It was, seafood. I forgot the name. And it sold good cannolis in that. Man, it was good. Yeah, now, restaurants are gone. It's all McDonald's, little wagons and stuff now.
So you feel like you've kind of seen the quality of the restaurants deteriorate a little bit?
More, in that area where I grew up and all that, yeah, there is no restaurants. There is nothing there. Yeah, no restaurants at all.
Do you still have any family around the area?
Yeah, I got my sister, my brother, my mom, my niece, family members.
So what's a good memory of maybe going to one of the parks around North Denver if you're growing up?
Argo Park off of 47th in Washington. I ended up going to John F. Kennedy High School before Henry was built. That's when they combined everybody together, together get bus. Everyone went to John F. Kennedy. So it was a massive craziness.
What was high school like in North Denver?
That was John F. Kennedy. I never went to, North Denver. I went to John F. Kennedy. See, we ended up going to, I went to it's a Garden Place school, and then from there, we were going to Henry, but Henry wasn't built at the time, so we had to go to Kennedy. So everybody was bused. Everybody from Lincoln, North Denver, had to go all the way over there.
I've heard a lot about, La Raza Park.
La Raza.
Do you have any memories there growing up?
Oh, that's like cruising. Oh, here's the bus. Here's our bus. Here's our bus. Here's our bus. Hold up. Here. Hold up. Oh, Dad. Okay, I said shit. Here, take it out. Yeah.
Yeah, we're all waving at him. And he waved at us. What an asshole. That's the second driver that just did that.
If I can just throw this in your pocket.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So, first, can you just say your first and last name and then spell it letter by letter just so we can put your name in the bottom?
Yep. Eric Johnson, ERIK, JOHNSON.
Are you a Denver native?
No, I'm actually from Pennsylvania, around Pittsburgh.
Okay. So you spend a lot of time in North Denver, kind of around this area.
Yeah.
Do you think are we on Tennyson Street right now, or Tennyson? Yeah. Is Tennyson Street a good area to bring your family?
Oh, absolutely. So I lived downtown and in Uptown. I lived by Confluence Park in that neighborhood. The cool thing about the Berkeley neighborhood is it's great for families. Like we have 2 young kids now. It's definitely has that trendy vibe to it, where you don't feel like you're so detached from the city, but it's you got parks, you can see people all around with strollers and stuff. So it's a good community in that regard. But you can also have some nightlife here too, and some pretty good restaurants. Some specifically we like to go to. Local 46 down here, Call to Arms Brewing is great. Hops and Pies, some awesome pizza. And they have a good Wednesday special with craft beer cans as well. Cool thing about this area is they're actually doing, what's it called? First Friday. So they open up this park over here, and they have live music playing out there. And yep, every first Friday. Yep. Yep. Yep, they do the same thing here. Yep. Cool.
So what were you saying about what the event they do here?
They do First Fridays, so they have some art galleries. They open them up, and people get to walk inside. Some of them will be serving alcohol. Sorry, I'm getting this all over me. Some of them are serving alcohol. Some of them don't. You can I think you can still walk with your drink a little bit to different places. And then in this park, people are sitting in picnic setup. And then in one of the apartments there, they have a band. And the band will be putting on a show, and people just, bring their dogs and have a good time there.
Okay. So just touch on a couple more things on this street that you really like. Spots that you've gone to with your family. Anything that's particularly kid friendly. Obviously you got some.
They got. I did a lot more here without kids, but there's a really good Greek restaurant up here. I can't quite remember the name. They got Allegro Coffee, which is always bumping on Sunday mornings, and they have maybe one of the best bakeries I've ever been to, including some different places in Europe over here. There's Isabel. What's that bakery called over here? Bakery 4. Oh my God, it's fantastic. And they also have a place I haven't got to try out yet, but it's called
Mm-hmm. There we go. Okay, so just to start off with, Could you just say your first and last name and then spell it for me, just letter by letter, so we can put your name on the bottom corner?
Benito Reyes, Benito Reyes.
Okay. And so yeah, tell me about your experience living in North Denver. How long you've lived here, and
I've lived here about 8-9 years. A lot of shit has changed. A lot of stuff has changed, from the light rails to all the new buildings getting put up to everything, man. It's so different from when I was little. Because when we're growing up, there ain't really electronics and stuff like that. So you see a lot of new people out here, mostly on their phones, like my wife over there. But no, it's a good neighborhood. It's got its downsides, so a lot of drug use, stuff like that. But other than that, it's a good neighborhood. A lot of good restaurants around the neighborhood. My favorite one, I'd have to say, would definitely be the Denver Creamery, over there. Other than that, just so much that I don't know where to talk.
tell me about a couple of restaurants you guys like going to.
We usually go to the Creamery right there off of 38th, or is it 38th? 36th, right there by 30th and Downing. There's that one. There's what else is around there? Oh man, I don't know right now. Just that one. That's the one we really go to there, and then of course McDonald's and stuff like that. But Creamery is the best one. They got the best homemade freaking burritos and tortillas and stuff. So recommend that spot a lot.
So you say you moved here 8-9 years ago. What attracted you to North Denver?
Well, because I was down there and living in South Denver, bad neighborhood, always shooting and all this stuff like that. So I came out here, and like I said, there's no shootings. There's a little bit of gang violence, stuff like that, but nothing like how down there in South Denver. It's a lot more peaceful, more quiet, and a lot more like, I guess you say, like a homey feel, Not always stressing like, it's a good neighborhood, I like it.
So it's fair to say you've been happy with the decision so far moving here?
Yes, definitely.
Were you and your wife already together when you moved here?
Actually, no. We actually got together when I moved here. It was 4 years into here, and I was going to the 7-Eleven down here, and she happened to just be walking up. I was getting my scooter right there, and I seen her, and I started talking to her, and I would never talk to a girl like that in my life, but I got the courage up and went and talked to her, and we're going on 7 years strong now.
Sounds like it worked out well, man.
Yes, it did.
So are you guys looking to raise a family in North Denver? Is that something that's on the horizon?
We have a daughter right now.
Okay.
We are actually looking for a little spot for us. It's just, everything's so pricey right now. For our studio, it's, what they say, $1,200 or close to $1,500. So it's like, it's a little rough right now, but other than that, there's some nice houses out there and apartments and studios. You just got to keep looking, and
Is having a kid in North Denver, has that gone good so far, raising a kid out here?
50-50. Because like I said, there's a lot of, well, I don't want to say weirdos, but there's a lot of older men around here that kind of stare a lot at my wife and my daughter. So other than that little part, it's pretty good.
When you say older men, are you talking more about the people that live around here, or are you talking more about the people that are kind of like at the park?
At the park, like the homeless ones, and mostly the homeless ones.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was actually interviewing a lady over there who had her kids there, and I'm like, dude, there's like homeless people, like, at the grill, like, right. It's like, what if?
Yeah, they just.
She's here by herself.
Exactly, and then they do their drugs out there in the open, and it's like, well, I can see you guys, right? Like, can you go somewhere else? The kids are here, and it's everywhere though.
So, I mean, is that something that you've seen increase in North Denver since you've lived here?
Yeah, definitely seen it increase. When I first moved down here, there wasn't that much, but now they're just trying to not care, and like I said, just pop up everywhere and just do what they do,
Is it later in the day, or is it just kind of all?
I want to say later in the day, from 4 to about, whenever. But yeah, they come out later in the afternoon.
Yeah, I live in Aurora right now, and so I go on like a lot of walks outside. It's like a trail by my house. Literally, like the spot I've walked through for like 3 years now since I've moved there. There's like a tent literally in the middle of the trail.
Oh man.
So yeah, I've seen it as well out in Aurora.
And like I said, I ride everywhere on my scooter, from Aurora to Thornton to everywhere around Denver. And like you said, that you see tents pop every tent, and they're just on this, like you said, the sidewalk, and just in alleys. It's like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's sad and frustrating at the same time. So, so what about this area is special to you?
My grandfather and grandmother used to live over there in the Northside projects. They passed away, but I've had a lot of good memories there, always growing up and playing with all my cousins and everyone else, and all the kids would come out and play in the little, there's also a Boys and Girls Club right there. Spent a lot of time there and hanging out,
Is that still open?
Yeah, still open, still running good. They even got a little clinic right next to it too. The police station is right there too. And then 7-Eleven, of course, down the street. Gotta love 7-Eleven, Slurpees. But yeah, so North Denver is way better than down there in the south because it's not so hectic out here. It's more calm.
Expand a little bit on those good memories from growing up around here and just hanging out with your grandparents and stuff.
Mostly going to Argo Park to go swimming and do a little late night swimming, and then just going back. My grandpa and them made homemade tortillas and beans. So I'd go around the block or whatever, and you could just smell them throughout the air, and everyone would always come over, and we'd have like a potluck, just have good times, and that's what I miss most, is just having everyone come together and just talk about good memories and just enjoying family's quality time. That's what I miss the most.
Do you still have any family in this area?
Sadly, not no more. They're all mostly gone or moved out of town, so it's okay. As long as I got my memories, me and my wife, my daughter, we're good.
You start a new family, right?
Yes, exactly. New memories.
So we talked a little bit about the changes happening here. I guess just talk about like any spot you know of that's been around for a really long time that you like going to. Maybe kind of talk about restaurants a little bit. Any parks you guys like going to frequently?
Mostly this one right here, and then there's, like I said, there's Argo, and then there's we'll go to City Park. We like City Park a lot because how big it is, and they're always doing something there. Sometimes we'll shoot down to South or Sloan's Lake and go there, but it's mostly this one here, Argo Park. They got the pool there, they got the playground, and then we like to barbecue a lot, so we'll be sitting there barbecuing to like 3 in the afternoon to like 9 o'clock at night, just chilling, listening to music, getting some good food on.
Cool. Yeah, so I think that about does it, man.
Okay.
Appreciate your time.
Yeah, no problem.
Benito?
Yeah, Benito.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you too, brother.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks for helping me out. Yeah, I got it. Help me out.
Yeah, I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy about seeing myself on camera, so, but
all right, so
it's all good.
First of all, my name's Kyle. I don't know if I should.
Lucas.
Nice
Yep.
to meet you. So first of all, can you just say your first and last name and then spell it letter by letter so you
Sure.
can put your name on the screen?
Yep. So Lucas Kaczynski, Lucas, last name Kozzinski.
Okay. So are you a Denver native? It's Colorado native.
Yeah, not Colorado native. I moved here at the beginning of 2014, so been here for about 8 years. Moved from the East Coast.
So we're down here on Tennyson Street. This is the first place you moved to, right?
No, so when I first moved to Denver, I used to live on Platt Street over by Denver Beer Co. And then slowly made my way out here as my wife and I got married, and then we had our son. So I used to live over by the football stadium, and then have lived on Tennyson for about 3 years now.
Okay. How did you choose this area as the latest spot that you lived to?
It really came down to when we were looking for a house, we wanted a house with a yard, and we wanted access to restaurants and not necessarily be downtown. So a few years ago, this area started getting gentrified, and we're able to buy a house. There's really good schools for kids as well, and you could kind of walk to a main street and have some good restaurants and places to go out to eat and still have a family. So.
You mentioned the word gentrified. People have a variety of opinions on that, right?
Yeah.
Where you sit, how do you feel about the way that this street's going, Tennyson Street?
Yeah, so I, being in Colorado for only 8 years, I don't know how this area was, but there's still people that have lived here for 20 years that are our neighbors, and the north side of Denver was not a place that you wanted to live as a family. It was actually pretty dangerous. So the fact that even looking around, you could see people walking around everywhere with families and just enjoying the outdoors. It's a very safe area now. So.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I tend to agree personally. I think that, you know, anything that's making people want to be outside of their families is probably a good thing.
Yep.
You know? Speaking of like just the changes, have you seen any architecture around here you like? Any old architecture, any new architecture that you like?
Yeah, so the north side of Denver, traditionally you'll see a lot of bungalows. That's just the type of architecture that you'll see. And then even our house, the new architecture in Denver in general, like we grew up on the East Coast, is extremely unique in the sense that it's like a modern European. So even the house that we purchased is a modern, like a farmhouse. So you have a good mix of the older homes that are getting redone, like the bungalows, and new houses going up that are like farmhouses and other. But we love that aspect about Denver because you don't get that in other parts of the country.
You mentioned, you know, you have some neighbors or people you've talked to who lived here for a very long time.
Yep.
What have you learned from talking to them?
So we live, Tennyson is the northwest corner of Denver, and we live right by Lakeside Amusement Park. And Lakeside actually has quite a bit of history to it. It's been in the family since the turn of the century. There used to be a racetrack where they used to do like derby rallies alongside of Lakeside. The track is still there, but they don't use it. So there's just like that kind of history. There used to be a trolley that used to go down a few of the streets here, so you could still see that the street's a little bit wider and whatnot. So it's kind of cool to still see that history.
What have you learned just about how the area's changed from, like, you know, in like the neighborhoods,
Yeah.
aside from like the park itself? You know, what have you heard from other people?
Not too much on that. So.
Okay. Yeah. So, what's a spot along here in this general area you guys really like going to, and you maybe go to sort of frequently?
Yeah. So there's probably like half a dozen spots on Tennyson that are cool. Starting at the top of the street on 38th, you have Hops and Pie, which is a really popular pizzeria. You have Vital Root, which is the same owner of Little Man, Root Down, and Ophelia's Downtown. So it's like a modern kind of twist on food. And then as you come down the street, you have Faro, which is a sports store, but it's also an exchange. So you could give them your old stuff and they'll sell it for you. There used to be an awesome coffee shop across the street, Allegro. They recently closed it. And then on the corner here is an abandoned building, but we were just talking about it. It's going to be called The Lantern. It's supposed to be like an Abante-like style food court right along the park. That's going to be cool once it's done. And then you have Bakery 4. And then what else? And there's a couple other restaurants, but.
Do you know if those restaurants? Okay, so yeah, just to start off with, could you just say your first and last name and spell it out letter for letter? That's so we can put your name in the bottom corner.
Sure. So I'm Nancy Kerr, NanciKerr.
Okay. And are you from this area? Have you lived here for a while?
I'm from Denver, and I've lived in Highlands for 18 years.
18 years, okay. So do you go to Tennyson Street often?
Almost every day.
What do you think about Tennyson Street? Tell me about Tennyson Street.
Oh, I'm super fortunate and lucky. It's awesome. Get to be really close. So during COVID, I counted it from my home on 38th and Tennyson, I can walk to 54 restaurants. And so between Tennyson and then 32nd and Lowell, there's all sorts of great opportunities.
What are your favorite of those restaurants? Just list off a few of them and tell me about them.
And you want me Tennyson, right? Yeah. So Tennyson,
just North Denver, really. This general vicinity that we're in.
Oh, there's so many good ones. But now you're gonna put me on the spot. Well, we're going to have ice cream for Beverly's birthday, so we're going to the Creamery. I'm also a big fan of Sweet Cow. And then for tacos, I'm a big fan of whiskey tacos, or used to be called Pinche Tacos. I think they rebranded. And so their chicken agave, amazing. And I think I've been at every restaurant here, so I'm a big fan of all of them.
Okay, do you know if they're mostly if the places that have been here for a while, or are they mostly newer places that are around here?
I think COVID had an impact, and so there has been some change. I don't know how directly that was related, but there's been an impact with that. And then when Tennyson Street was being constructed, it got rebuilt, I would say maybe 8 years ago, and that had an impact. And so there was a changeover of restaurants at that point. This is a great opportunity for fresh faces and new opportunities, and like the Cherry place, like I said, that was a pop-up during COVID, and then apparently it's working out pretty good, and they signed a lease.
So Tennyson Street, that's where we are right now. What do you see with the trajectory of Tennyson Street? Is it increasing in popularity? Is it decreasing in popularity?
Oh, well, yeah, it's increasing in popularity. As the residential density increases, there's more people, more pedestrian, more activity, more people want to be here. It's better.
What kind of people do you meet that live in North Denver, around this area?
Well, it's a mix. Families. Boy, now you've put me on the spot, to do demographics here or something. I mean, I do see more younger people moving here, and I say younger people, in their 20s and 30s, and it's great. When I go to the athletic class at Alchemy, I'm among the older people there. So I'd say the mean age is 26 there, and it's great. It brings a lot of lifeblood to the community.
So as far as the architecture around here, is there any what kind of houses have you seen, or older buildings, newer buildings? What have you seen? What have you noticed? What do you like?
Well, so there's that change too, right? I mean, so there's a lot of this was a working class neighborhood when it was built out, and so some of those smaller brick homes don't really suit most families today, and they're a little bit on the smaller side, so you see a lot of scrapes and pops. And I don't necessarily see that as all bad. There's some ugly architecture, but I think that if you're not evolving and growing, then you're dying. And so you got to, there has to be opportunity to change and adapt as the community evolves and changes.
Okay. Yes. So anything you'd like to say just about the area, the people you've met here, the kind of atmosphere that North Denver has?
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, it's an older part of town, and so it has that sort of roots or that feeling of longevity, right? I mean, I'm a newcomer. I've only been being here for 20 years, but you can get that sense of gravitas or longevity, permanence, and so that's awesome. I like that for it. I like that feel to the community.
How do you feel about the direction Denver in general is going?
Well, mostly good. It's a bit of a mixed bag. I mean, there's parts of it that I like, and there's other parts that you're like, there's a swing and a miss. But it's my hometown, and so I'm glad to see it having economic success and doing well, and having new people come here and bringing their talents and their capital with them.
Okay. I should put this on.
We're on the podcast.
No way.
I'm actually from Bloomington, Illinois.
Oh yeah?
But,
up north?
it's a couple hours south of Chicago.
Oh, south. Okay.
Right in the middle of the state.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So first, can you just give me your name and last name and then spell it letter for letter? So we can put your name in the bottom corner of the screen.
Okay. Yeah. So my name is John Pitts. John. Last name Pitts.
Okay. And how long have you lived in North Denver?
I moved to North Denver 2000. I moved to North Denver in 2019, so about 3 years now. Prior to that, I was living in Lodo. Yep.
So what attracted you to North Denver? What did you notice about the area that would be a good place to live?
Yeah, so we had kids, so we needed to get a house. And the thing we liked the most is kind of up and coming neighborhood, and we were close to Tennyson Street, where we could we like the city living, so we like walking to restaurants and things to do. So that was one of the big attractors, that we had at least a street that was walking distance that we can go to.
So you mentioned Tennyson Street. Tell me about how much part of you living here Tennyson Street was and what it offers.
Yeah, it's a big part of us moving here. So we like the idea of having restaurants we can walk to, the ice cream shop, the playground for the kids. So we come here frequently, like usually at least once or twice a week, to the playground or ice cream or restaurant. So days on wife doesn't want to cook, we're going to walk down here. We're happy that the new bow tie restaurant opened up because we love Thai food. So we like the variety, and we hope to see some more restaurants come through as well.
How do you feel about the trajectory of Tennyson Street? Is it up and coming, or is stuff closing down?
No, it feels like things are up and coming. Obviously with the pandemic, a little worried if things would shut down, but it seems like most of the restaurants stayed, and then we're starting to get some new restaurants come. I think that big green building that had been there for a while is finally got bought out, and it's going to become something. So I think that's exciting. So it seems like things up and coming, and the more stuff we get that's close by that we can stay in the neighborhood, it'd be great.
So do you guys live in an older property or newer property? There's a mix around here of older architecture as well as more modern stuff.
Yeah.
What do you prefer, and what kind of property do you currently live in?
Yeah, currently we live in a newer property. We built it ourselves. So we bought a lot with an older property, and then we built a newer property on top of that. Obviously we like the newer modern build, but we like the mixture as well. So we're in a newer place.
So you've been here for 3 years. Tell me about people you've met, maybe neighbors, anyone you've met that's been here for a really long time, or most of the people you've met younger and they just kind of moved here more recently.
Yeah, that's a good question. One of our neighbors across the street we met, she said she's been here for a long time. She said used to be like a lot of Italian gangs and maybe more dangerous neighborhood, and she's seen the neighborhood change quite a bit. Some of our next door neighbor has a young child similar age as our oldest kid, and some of the back alley neighbors also have children. Some of them have been around for a few years, some of them a little longer. So it's a good mix, a lot of families, so we like that for the kids growing up.
Okay.
Yeah.
As far as living here with kids, how do you see this being? Is it a good area to raise kids?
So far, yeah, it seems great. It's a little mix of city and kind of suburban life, so you get away from the hustle, but still cars and traffic, you got to be careful. But yeah, it's a lot of kids in the neighborhood, a lot of families. Again, a lot of good stuff they can walk to. From what we looked at, the schools were a little bit on the below average side, but I think that's going to come up as the neighborhood grows and continues to develop as well. And it seems like a lot of parents we've talked to are starting to get happy with the schools that the kids are going to as well.
Tell me a little bit more about what your neighbor was saying about the past history of North Denver.
Yeah, she was just saying that this used to be a rougher neighborhood, gangs, she was saying, and maybe more violence and crime. And throughout the years, she's just seen it grow and develop. And then more recently, she's seeing newer builds coming up and just the neighborhood changing in a positive direction.
So from your perspective, from what you know about the past of North Denver, you think things are going in a good trajectory?
Absolutely, yes. Yep.
So just tell me about anywhere you guys frequent, any spots you guys go to a lot, any parks around North Denver?
We walk to Cesar Chavez Park a lot with the kids for the playground. Sometimes we'll bike to the Rocky Mountain Park or the Berkeley Park, Berkeley Lake Park, so we'll go there. And then we spend a lot of time on Tennyson going to the restaurant, so kids like the ice cream shop. Bow Tie's new, so we're trying this out for the first time. We've been to other Bow Ties. We like Cozy Cottage for brunch and Wendell's for brunch. We shop at Natural Grocers sometimes. And it's a couple of new restaurants. I forget the names that we've been to. We like an Indian restaurant down here and Mediterranean place. So we like the diversity of food options, so yeah.
Any final thoughts on North Denver, about this neighborhood, about how you feel about being here with your family?
Yeah, we love it. I think it's growing, it's getting better. Property values have been going up, new builds have been going up, and spots on Tennyson to kind of frequent for restaurants and shopping will help the economy here. So I think everything is moving in a positive direction. Feels safe. We haven't had any issues thus far. Yeah.
Appreciate your time, man.
Absolutely.
No, don't talk
You
each other.
talk first.
Okay.
All right, guys. So to begin with, could I have both of you say your name and then spell it letter for letter? That's so we can put your names in the bottom corner.
Okay. Sure. It's Doug Drinkpohl, Drinkpohl.
Okay. And you?
And I'm Tina Yoder, Tinayoder.
Okay. So you guys live kind of around Sloan's Lake. Have you lived there for a while, or you moved there more recently?
Yeah, I've been there for over 10 years now. And actually moved from Littleton area, so I've been in Denver for about over 20 years now.
And I've been in Denver about 30 years and live over in Golden and spend a fair amount of time in this area.
Okay. So we're on Tennyson Street right now. You guys come here pretty frequently?
It's been a while, but definitely get out here, I don't know, at least a few times a year. And yeah, really like the street. And we actually had the last dinner of before the pandemic started right here on Tennyson Street. So
yeah.
So what do you guys think about Tennyson Street? How do you guys feel about the trajectory of Tennyson Street as an area? What do you see going on here?
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I mean, when I first moved here or shortly thereafter, it was definitely quieter. More residential, a bigger art scene. I felt like it was there was more of an art scene, just a little more eclectic. And now there's been a lot of gentrification and a lot of new townhomes and sort of luxury living. So it's definitely changed, but it's still a fun place to hang out, and there's still good restaurants and people. So still enjoy it.
From what you're seeing, when you come down here, are those changes pushing things in a positive or negative direction for the area?
I think for me, it's done pretty well in terms of maintaining some of the character and so forth. I mean, you do have like some multi-story apartments and things like that. Obviously, traffic is pretty heavy through here, and it's tough to find parking. So I think there's definitely some challenges. I think there's enough construction right now that might want to not continue to build multi-story buildings here. But yeah, I think it's a fun area to get out, and again, a lot of diversity of restaurants and boutique shops, and so I think that's something they've done well.
What are some of the best restaurants in your opinion, that are around here? What places have you returned to multiple times?
Hops and Pie is definitely one.
Yeah.
It's been frequent. Mexican place down there, Trace Chili's.
Yeah.
And like coffee shop down here, bookstore, art gallery down there. There's some of the places I've been to, frequent basis.
Do you know by chance if those places are newer, or are they places that have been here for like 3 decades or something?
I can't tell you how long they've been here, but I mean they've been here. I think each of them, I'm thinking like at least 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you guys met anybody that's kind of born and raised right in this area, being around here, or no?
Yeah. Well, my sister-in-law, I guess she was born and raised over in Applewood, Wheat Ridge. She's from Wheat Ridge and lives a few blocks from here and has been here in this neighborhood about 30 years.
Okay. What has she said about where things were and where they are now?
Well, she definitely would be on the side that she doesn't think the growth and development has been positive. So she feels that the prices are pushing existing people out, and lower income people really can't afford to live here anymore, and a lot of the existing old families can't afford it, and the home renovations have taken some of the character out. That's what she has communicated to me.
Okay. So it sounds like this person has some pretty strong opinions on this.
Yes.
She does.
What do you think? Do you agree or disagree with that?
I agree. Yeah. I just think that it's inevitable. I think that growth is hard to stop. So if we can keep the character, and I would love to see some more affordable housing. That's true across the Denver area and in Colorado in general. I think we have a real problem with affordable housing here. So what do you think?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the multi-stories and, I don't know, 100 people in one building and where do they all park, and the streets just getting super jammed up. So aside from that, though, I mean, again, the stores have been good. I mean, there have been some older places that have gotten pushed out. You know, there was a hardware store here, I think, and the fire down the way at that one, but and others beyond that. But I mean, I think it's getting replaced with things that people want and appreciate. So, you know, yeah, I don't know, little on the borderline if it's all good, but for the most part, it's directionally positive for me.
So you know, you talk about like the multi-story apartment buildings. It seems like that you're not really a big fan of those. Can you like expand a little bit on what type of impact you think those have that isn't the best for the surrounding area?
Yeah, I mean, otherwise it's pretty much one story, and you know, if you get down the way there, you know, it's starting to get to be potential canyon, right? You got tall buildings on each side, and it just the openness of the space kind of loses that character, and just the outdoor aspect of it feeling a little more like you're a little pinched in with those like that.
Is that something that you think that there should be zoning or that sort of thing for, or do you think that that's going too far to do that?
I assume there is zoning, and but I just don't want to, you know, I hate to see the whole street turn into multi-stories with retail on the bottom. I think just that would really change dramatically the character of what's here today.
Yeah, I see the same thing. You know, I've actually been on a kick lately about that we should be able to walk places, not drive places. And our infrastructure's all set up for car.
Oh, sure.
Bicycle and stuff.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, anyhow, do you guys have any sort of closing thoughts about North Denver, about this area, about what's special about this area of Denver versus other parts or anything?
I mean, I think there are still parts of North Denver that are a little more original. They're fading. They're getting bought and renovated, and but I think it's got a lot of nice character, and it's a great place to visit. There's multiple pockets of little neighborhoods around here, so it's close to downtown, but also its own character and culture.
Do you have anything?
Right. For closing thoughts?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I think it's you know, there's a lot of nice parks here, a lot of outdoor space, and it's, I mean, that's one of the things I love about here is the walkability.
Yeah.
What, you know, one of the things I like about the area is just the walkability, where you got a nice, you know, 5-6 block stretch where you can just, you know, if you live close by, ride, walk, and just really enjoy the space without having to jump in a car. So.
Would you be able to briefly expand on that? Just kind of say why it's good to have something be walkable, and if North Denver's like that?
I think it just helps build a little more, I don't know, for me, like a community feel. I mean, you're going to see others and interact with others in your local environment there if you're a homeowner or renter in the area here. So I think it just makes it a little more cohesive and adds to the charm of the space.
All right, guys. Well, really appreciate your time. Yeah, thanks for stopping and talking.
All right.